Hello, 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 love wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Can we start off with the biggest news of the week? The Rats lost!
But every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is you like having a good time. Forget yourself, pal.
If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey! The man with the finest beard on this screen. Canadian men, boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
Hello, 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 love wrestling. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. And you all know what that means.
I don't know what it means. What does it mean?
You don't?
No,
I would think
I'm not
after
sure.
Like 4 years of this, I would think. You don't.
I'm
you
not.
don't
I'm
know?
not the brightest bulb in the box.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it? What is it?
It's another episode of Between Two Beards.
Heck yeah, it is.
What's going on, buddy? How you doing, pal?
I don't know. I'm alive and well. My wedding anniversary was on Tuesday.
Congratulations! I saw you guys went to a ball game. I love that. Love a baseball. Love baseball. Love a baseball game. That's a nice date. Yeah, I can imagine.
It was a bit
cold.
Chile. We got David in the chat. Say the show's gonna cook. You darn right. Fernando and Boris, what's up?
Yo,
if you're in the chat,
Maria's here as well. Bless.
Smash that like button.
Yes, if you're in the chat,
subscribe
smash the like button. Share this out. Subscribe, like.
Maria, tell all your friends. Boris, tell all your friends. Fernando, you do the same. Thank you. Happy anniversary. She's put up with me for 8 years now.
Yep.
Good for her. She's a saint. I'm a pain in the butt.
We want to get to 20 likes on this.
20. Let's do it.
20. That's the assignment I'm giving all of you. 20 likes.
20 likes.
So
now
tell your friends, tell your family.
I think
we're talking AEW Dynasty.
Yeah. Dynasty, Dynamite, Raw, WrestleMania.
We'll talk about some Raw, some SmackDown, WrestleMania.
You'll have to fill me in on what happened on NXT because I was on, like I said, I was on a hot date.
NXT was good. Again, listen.
I saw Julia's back.
Yeah, NXT is just kind of, Oh, Pluggo,
Hey, this is Pluggo. Hi, honey. I was just talking about my smoking hot date on Tuesday night.
Yeah. That's what he said.
I went out with that baddie right there, and she had a good time.
Good. You love to see it.
Her friends were there. One of her many wives was there, but that's okay.
Planned?
No, she just happened to be there.
And you were like, what the hell?
And she went and danced with her for a little bit.
Wow, you're like, look at this, my anniversary, and she ditched me.
That's all right.
Ditched me.
She went home. She went home with me. So who's the real winner? You know what I'm saying?
It's fair. That's fair.
It is what it is. But yes, we got a big one tonight. What are we at? Like 204 of these things?
Yeah, this is 203, bro.
Yeah, that checks out.
We got Paul from our pals over.
Paul Sartman's in the house. I wonder what he's doing here today.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
So we'll do a little housekeeping.
We're going to talk about Dynasty, but we can,
For those that don't know, this past weekend we hung out with our friends over at the Kicking Out Pod, Tanner, Paul, and Seth. They challenged us to a pick-em for their KOP championship. And just like the last time they did it, my boy over here, hit a perfect card. But of course, Paul also hit a perfect card. So now we got to do this song and dance where they do WrestleMania picks. So, Paul, we're not doing WrestleMania picks this week.
Nah, I'm saving that. I'm saving that for you.
Next week we're picking WrestleMania and the Progress Wrestling Show. But that is next. It's going to be a big weekend. But yeah,
sure is.
Paul's in the house. I would expect you to hit that like button, Paul. You could do for us.
Yeah.
So
we want to get to 20 likes. You heard me, guys. You heard me. That was an order. So
so get it.
That's how I feel about that. That was an order. That wasn't a request.
How many likes would we need for you to take your shirt off like we did on 4 Exposure this past week?
150.
Okay, challenge is accepted.
150.
We are at 13 already, so we just need 7 more. So hey, Dustin, tell all your friends. 8 years later, PLUGGO has glasses and now friends. So fun fact about that, Dustin, is like actually no joke. Mid baseball game, Mrs. PLUGGO goes, "Take your glasses off," and I was like, "Why?" And she goes, "This is the baseball game that you've been watching for the last however long." And I go, "Yeah." So yeah, I guess I can see the baseball field. I can finally live a crystal clear life and have to deal with the reflection of the screen all the time, which still throws me off, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sitting there before the show. I kind of told you that I had this idea. I don't know how well it's going to play. Everyone else in the chat can play along. I was looking at the WrestleMania card, and in the spirit of picking with the KOP.
Oh, is this the game? This is the game you were talking about.
Sure. Like
I love games.
With everybody here. So in the spirit of the KOP, would they do predictions and the ideas you want to, obviously be right so that you can win? JPJ, I would like you to pick the worst possible outcomes for each WrestleMania match. The only caveat is you do have to pick a winner. But
these are not my official picks.
So if it's Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair, the worst outcome would be Charlotte winning, right?
Yeah, in my opinion.
Right. Yes. So I don't want you to pick who you think is going to win. I want you to pick who you think would make the worst possible WrestleMania card that you can come up with.
Got it. All right.
So Fernando, this sounds fun. So go right ahead. We can, if you want, I can pull up said card. I
would hope you would have the card on hand.
But I do have the card right.
But there was a new match officially.
There was, and that's where Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest has been announced. They've been messing around with each other on SmackDown for a while now. I honestly, I like the match, but I'm bummed for Drew. I think he deserves a little bit more.
But see, I don't like saying he deserves more or better because that feels like a slight to Damian Priest, and that's not what this is. Because I actually thought Damian Priest was excellent last year. I thought he was a great world champion. Very pro Damian Priest.
Great WrestleMania.
I just feel like Drew was the best guy in the company for them last year. Truly. And performance-wise.
Yeah. And leading up around the Rumble time, I think he was knocking it out of the park too.
Yes. He still does knock it out. He's still knocking it out. He's just been arguably the best all-around guy since the beginning of last year to me, and I feel like a mid-card match for no title, no stakes, regardless of opponent, is beneath what his performance has earned.
So we kind of talked about I've talked about it. We talked about it probably as well. They're so top heavy right now with just the main event scene is just loaded with options that you have these moments where you're like, well, we got to give Damian Priest and Drew something. Well, now let's put them one-on-one on the card.
Yeah.
It does. I hope that this means we're going to see, a women's IC title match or Chelsea Green get on the card, but we get this match, which is okay, whatever. But yeah, just.
But let's make room for Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. We have don't get me wrong, the match will be fine. I like both those individuals, but We have room for that, but God forbid the women's US or women's IC title gets on it's 10:01 fucking show.
Yes.
God forbid.
God forbid we make those important. Heck,
The
I would have
women's
been
tag titles.
I would have been excited.
When
Every once in a while they throw like a ladder match for the men's IC title up on there. Do that with the women. Give me a 6-woman IC title ladder match. Do something crazy.
Yeah.
So let's start right there. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. What's the worst possible outcome?
I mean, I don't think the outcome matters at all, really.
Isn't it Rey Mysterio losing and his mask getting ripped off?
Yes.
That's the worst possible outcome.
Yeah, I would say so. How is this not a mask for mask match?
It's not. Well, we got 2 weeks. We got a week.
The whole premise, they got to make this a mask versus mask match next week. The whole premise is that everybody thinks it's Chad Gable under there. Yeah. Not me. There's no proof. But everybody thinks it's Chad Gable under there.
Except for Pat McAfee.
Okay, and me. I need more proof. They were shown together. I need more proof.
I didn't appreciate Michael Cole not ripping Dragon Lee a new one for trying to rip that mask off, because that's just disrespectful to
Well, I actually agree with you. Yo, Joey, what's going on? No, we will not be in Vegas next week. We wish. But Spencer Love, the boss man, will be in Vegas.
The boss man's taking this one.
Yeah,
so we'll have to hit
this one. So if you see him, say hello for us. We'll make sure if he sees you, he does the same.
But we'll see you on maybe the next, maybe some other ones this year. We'll try to get out to one.
Maybe we'll have you on post WrestleMania if you would like to chat about it. If you would like to, maybe we can do something like that, brother.
We'll have our people follow your people. So make a luchador lumberjack mask versus Matt's.
To me, the whole premise is that they think it's Chad Gable. They think he's full of crap, all this stuff. So how is him getting his mask ripped off at WrestleMania not the end game for that? Like, right?
The payoff. Yeah.
That's the payoff, is that we would say, oh shit, it is Chad Gable and the biggest no shit of all time. And then, and then whatever, you do Chad Gable versus Ray, whatever. Problem.
No party wants to keep El Grande Americano going.
Yeah, I just feel like that is the perfect payoff of this, is figuring out if El Grande Americano is Chad Gable, and why wouldn't, especially now that this is going to be at WrestleMania when it doesn't need to be. It's going to be at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and then
how is that not the payoff?
Isn't that something? Rey Mysterio just walking at Adam Pearce's office and go,
"Yep,
I want this match at WrestleMania." And he goes, "Oh, okay."
Joey says, unless they do like a Bella Twin switch, that's what
I said. A little twin magic somehow, some way.
That would be creative.
They go out there. Ray goes to rip that mask off, and it's just some extra. I don't know if you would do an actual person on the roster.
That would be creative,
but that would be something.
Okay, I'd be in on that if you could find somebody that looked similar to. Again, I have not seen.
Yes, Ray does have pull, but at the same time, like some of the other people that have more pull, possibly.
Listen,
have had to argue tooth and nail.
I completely understand why they want to get Rey Mysterio a WrestleMania match.
Because they need him to wrestle in the sponsored match.
Yeah, yes, and there's not many of those WrestleMania matches left for Rey. Maybe one, more than that, maybe two, maybe three. You know, but like, I understand why they want that. But what I'm saying, again, we're talking about this specifically, but in general, we have time. There's room on the card to add a kind of match like that, but there is not to have one of or both of your brand new in the first year of existence, where them being on WrestleMania might matter, both your new mid-card women's titles. But we got a slot for good old Grande Americano and Ray.
That's right, baby.
Okay.
We got 15.
I'm just double checking.
So are you saying the worst outcome is Grande winning and not having his mask pulled off?
No, the worst outcome would be Grande winning by exposing Rey Mysterio for how we all already know what he looks like.
Okay, how about AJ Styles versus Logan Paul? That's an easy one. This is easy.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, in this one, most likely the worst case scenario is going to be the scenario that occurs, and that's Logan Paul winning.
A squash match.
Well, yeah, I mean, that
just
would be ridiculous.
Squashes AJ Styles.
Yeah,
we're talking worst WrestleMania possible here. But
well,
there has to be
I
a
don't want to
winner.
wish the worst because that's like, that could
That's
be.
what the fun is. It.
No, but now you're
stuck.
talking like injury. Like I'm not going that.
I
negative.
didn't say injury. I said
you're
squash.
saying the worst possible outcome.
Oh, you know what I mean. We'll keep injuries out of it. But
Okay.
if Logan Paul squashed AJ
To me,
Styles,
the worst outcome is Logan Paul winning a match.
There you go.
So that is kind of where I'm at.
See, look, Drew gets the game. Logan Paul existing is
Yeah.
the worst outcome.
I get it.
He gets it. Obviously, we're not wishing injury on anybody. We're not those kind of people. I'm just saying, in terms of wrestling, Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Ooh,
this is
tough. This is tough because I think either outcome's good.
Yeah,
I would say the worst outcome would be. Oh, I mean, probably like a double DQ or a double count out or like anything that doesn't resolve it.
I think the worst outcome, honestly, is if this match just isn't good.
Well, yeah.
Like, I want it to be. I don't care who wins, but I think if they don't have a good match, I think they will.
Yeah,
I think that's where I'm at because I'm like, oh man,
See,
that one. I don't think you could have a bad outcome. I think either way you sling it, you're good. Well, now this one, I know where you're going to go. The Fatal 4-Way for the IC title.
Oh, you don't know where I'm going to go.
Isn't Dom, right?
No.
The worst possible outcome is Dom winning.
No. I think the worst outcome would be Braun retaining.
Oh.
I think Braun should be immediately in the main event picture. Okay. So I think him retaining and leaving him on the mid card would be the worst case scenario for me.
Interesting. And then Dustin saying he said whoever wins the Logan AJ match goes on to challenge for the IC title against Dirty Dom. In this scenario, it would be against Braun Breaker. Jacob Fatu and LA Knight.
The worst case scenario would be Solo
Sikoa get involved.
Yes, and costing Jacob Fatu, which could definitely happen.
Yeah,
could definitely happen, but I feel like you just got, again, I'm not going into it because Paul's in the chat. I'm not going into it yet. But I feel like
that's why I'm having you do the worst things, not the best. Yeah,
the worst case scenario for me would be Solo Sikoa costing Jacob Fatu.
Okay. Yeah. Squashing out LA Knight would be pretty bad in my opinion.
No, I wouldn't. No. I'd be okay with it with Jacob. I'd be okay.
Jacob,
I don't think it would happen, but
Tiffany and Charlotte.
For me personally, obviously a Charlotte squash would be the worst thing that happened.
I think a Charlotte win in general would just be in terms of the fans. The fans.
That's how I feel.
And this is the thing. I love Charlotte Flair overall. This is just not been it since she's been back.
Yeah. This is not. We'll get more into it when we talk.
So her winning it all would be the worst.
This is not hit. And listen, it's not just all on Charlotte. Like Tiffany has not done her end of the bargain either. She struggled kind of finding what kind of baby face she wants to be, I feel. And but my thing is, when it comes to Charlotte, and again, I am pro Charlotte. I know there's Charlotte haters. My firmly co-host is one of them.
I could see that.
I am not a Charlotte hater. Is she my favorite? Not even close. But I am not a Charlotte hater. I am pro Charlotte. I feel like Charlotte, and I'm excusing the segment from SmackDown because that just went off the fucking rails and they were clearly shooting on it. That was just a mess, right? In the lead up here, I feel like Charlotte is at a level where she should have been helping Tiffany in this. You know what I mean?
She should know better and know like how to pivot out of these things where it didn't need to get to what happened on Friday. I get what you're saying.
Correct. Like
but Charlotte is not wavered at all though, but she should know like, oh shoot,
Charlotte should, if you see Tiffany struggling in a segment or figuring, like Charlotte should be at a level where in her, and this is just how she should be helping Tiffany figure this out. Like she's a veteran enough. She's so good and we know she can. She should be leading Tiffany through this. And she's not. She's making Tiffany look worse, which is why we're getting segments like last Friday. Because I can only assume that Tiffany is feeling like she's fucking coming at me at my throat here. Like she's not helping. Like she's, she's adding on to the shit.
I'm super excited for tomorrow for the first time. I want to see what happens in this segment. Because you know they have something's going to happen.
Yeah. And Dustin said it in the chat. He said Charlotte isn't used to someone clapping back all the time.
Yeah.
So she didn't know how to handle it. That's fine. And Tiffany is the type of character / person that she is going to clap back because she doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And that's what made that segment on Friday again, it was a bad segment, but it was like train wreck television. And honestly, even though I think the segment was not good, it's a week later almost, and people are still talking about that segment. And guess what? You know what was one of the only matches people weren't talking about the last few weeks? This one, because the shit sucked. Not saying that it didn't last Friday. The segment was rough, but
right.
We're thinking about the match now, aren't we?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Hey, what are you going to do?
Press, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at it. It is what it is. But again, I feel like Tiffany has struggled, which as a really big Tiffany guy, like that's kind of disappointing. But it is what it is. She's still young. She's, she's figuring it out. This is her first real wrestle. This is her first, she's figuring it out. It's fine. She's not the only person who's struggled at times. Do you all remember and again, not the same level of where I think they end up when their careers are over, but do you all remember The Miz? Like when he first started with the faux hawk and the goofy pants?
I try to forget.
Exactly. You do remember Dominic Mysterio, his first year and a half? How bad he was?
Yeah,
he was awful. And look where Dom is now. Like Dom's genuinely good. Miz is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh wow. Dustin saying Charlotte tweeted out
that incredible. Incredible tweet.
Yeah, she didn't double down. Good for her. Good for her.
That's what she said. So Charlotte's tweet, word for word, she said, after being blindsided by my personal trauma on live television, my character said something on air that was not true, and I'd like to take this opportunity to clear the air. She goes, I should have never, and never is in all caps, called the Chicago fans smart. I sincerely apologize. Tremendous.
I love it.
That type of tweet.
So now
she is the queen.
Now hear me out. I know Drew is not going to like this, and I understand that. So he's he's anti-Charlotte, but they should absolutely 1000% steer into this kid. There's only 1 week left. Let's not do something. Lean into it hard. You only have 2 weeks. Car crash TV, Real Housewives shit. Let's do it. Just go for it. Might as well. You got people talking.
Yep.
I'm in on it.
I feel that's what it is. I feel like that's where we're at now. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. And I would honestly, again, the one thing I'm not worried about at all when it comes to this is the match. Like I know the match is going to be good. Like I'm not worried about that. Like they're both.
I'm a little worried about it because Charlotte doesn't wrestle a ton. Yeah, now, she's an all timer, but.
I don't know. I just feel like the match is just going to be
hopefully
because they're both very good.
Hopefully they have better chemistry in the ring than they do on the mics. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But I almost would make like Dustin just said it. Like I almost would make it more of a fight a little bit now. I would make it like, hey, we're still going to let you get your athletic shit in because you're both like gym. Like we're going to let you get your shit in where you look great, but like. We're going to be it's going to be physical. Like we're going to be a little like, Charlotte would love to lean into the chops if they want to do chops and strong, strong style type. It should feel more like that, I think, now that they've kind of went to this, whether they were supposed to or not, because it did very much feel off script. So, but yeah. All right. What other matches do we have?
Well, how about Jay and Gunther? That's tough.
It's tough because I do think the worst case scenario is Jay winning.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
You don't think the worst case scenario is Gunther winning and Jay just falls back down?
No, I think Gunther has actually looked like a dominant world champion the last month.
Okay.
Okay. That's it. That's how I feel. So for me, again, if you're asking me what the worst case scenario would be, if Jay won in a squash, like to bust out of his revenge, like his god, like he just he snaps and beats him like relatively easily,
just like in a minute.
Yes, be like what the hell, like one of those Sheamus Daniel Bryan moments or something. What? He just hits him with like a super kick and a splash, and you're like, "Oh, excuse me, what happened?" No, that would be a worst case scenario.
That would be crazy.
That would be bananas.
I'm kind of here for that.
Because I'll tell you what, and I got into a disagreement with Drew about it, and I want to see how you feel about it.
Yeah.
The segment on Raw with Jey Uso, I know most people loved it. I know Drew loved it. I'm not going to say I was very strong on Monday, but that was the day after. I'm a little less as strong as I was on Monday. But like, to me, I thought the substance of what Jay said was good. I thought it was good. But for me, and maybe it's just who I am as a person, I don't know. I don't know how Jay didn't go right out there and try to kill that man. He literally savagely beat your brother to a bloody pulp inches away from you, right in front of you, calling you a bad P word. He was calling you.
Maybe it's a psychological thing. Jay's going, look, I could jump your ass, but
oh no,
but
I don't know.
I am strong enough not to, and I'm going to put in that work at WrestleMania.
But can't you do both?
But we also have seen though that Jay has not really gotten the upper hand on Gunther very often.
That's fair.
So maybe he's going, Gunther thinks I'm going to attack. He's ready. I don't know. It was interesting that he didn't jump his ass. I probably would have.
I agree with Dustin.
I might have got right up. I would have probably got right up in his face, nose to nose for sure.
I feel like Jay, and I understand where he was coming from, and there were aspects. I loved how he wore the all black. I liked how he didn't come out yeeting and dancing. There were aspects of it that I liked. I just felt like the week after we saw as savage a segment on television for WWE that we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
That Jay coming out and just standing 5 feet away from Gunther and being as nah, man.
I ain't afraid. I'm gonna stand
over
here,
I only have a younger sister, so I can't relate to the brother thing. But if that happened to me and I saw the individual the very next week,
popped your sister's eye out of her head.
Listen, I was a child. But if I was in Jay's scenario, and that happened to a family member of mine, if I saw that person a week later, there would not be a conversation happening.
Yeah.
Whether I would win the confrontation or not, that's a different story. But like, there would not be a conversation. I would be like, okay, people would have to pull me away. You know? You do it. He was a bloody mess.
He was.
A bloody mess. But anyway, I digress.
But then the next week,
JPJ
would have said, why didn't Gunther attack Jay immediately? So there's no winning.
No, I wouldn't.
What happened on Firmly this week?
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't. Because Gunther has been attacking Jay for a month and a half. This whole thing has been Gunther attacking Jay.
Yeah.
So at some point, you got to have your Ralphie Scotty Farkas moment from this Christmas Story where he snaps and he beats the piss out of him. Now, it's going to be at WrestleMania, which, fine, but he tried to kill his brother right in front of him. Like, what do you don't just talk to the guy calmly after. You just don't. Maybe not.
I would have at least liked a backstage segment after they cut.
What if he cuts
Jay?
They cut the ring.
They cut Jay loose or something, and then he's backstage looking for Gunther after the fact.
I needed something.
But yeah, you're right. But he cooler heads prevailed. He calmed down. He goes, I ain't scared of you no more. He's playing mind games with Gunther. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Look, I didn't hate what he said. I just think in that moment, it's like, I was like, you should be wanting to kill this man. Truly.
He's gonna kill him and take his title.
Yeah. Yeah.
The women's triple threat. What's the worst outcome for that?
Honestly,
I don't think there is.
There isn't. You want my honest opinion?
Well, that's why I asked. Yeah. I hope you're not up here lying to me. Giving me your fake opinions.
See, I'm not like thinking like super duper creative stuff, and I don't want to just say a squash match for everything. Yeah, but I think my honest I feel like the worst decision would be giving Rhea the belt back, because that would make the EO win the dumbest thing ever. Because why would that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like Rhea winning the title back, and this gives Paul a little hint. He doesn't know which one of the other two I'm going to pick, but I think Rhea winning is the worst outcome. Because why would you do the title change if you were just going to have her, you know what I mean? That would not make sense. Why wouldn't you just have her come in as the champion, and then EO could have inserted herself by apparently signing a contract her name wasn't on? You could have just done the same thing with EO and had EO insert herself. Well, if Sullivan, that would be the worst thing that could happen if they split the belt 3 ways. They cooled it, but thirds.
How would you even explain that to me? How do you make that? How would they all 3 of them win?
I don't know.
That would be an epic outcome for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how you do that, but
I think giving Rhea the belt back with a win would be the worst case scenario.
Okay. The worst case.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I just think it would make everything that happened on the way to this match irrelevant. It would make no sense.
This is what I'm talking about. Dustin's going triple submission.
Yeah,
Sullivan going triangle pin.
My brain doesn't work that way. I'm the wrong type of guy. I don't think of crazy. Like, I think of like, oh, what's the worst outcome? But I don't think like, oh, fucking, they hit each other in the head with chairs, double concussions. They're both out, knocked out. Double 10 counts.
The triangle pin. That's good.
I just, my brain doesn't normally just go there.
They're just like, hey.
Yeah.
But how do you triangle? So I gotta see that. Ryan, you're gonna have to write like a diagram up or something for that. For how about the men's triple threat with CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins? And I think the answer is
it's gonna involve Heyman.
Oh yeah. I think the answer is the bloodline shows up and all helps Roman, like all Sammy and Jay and Jimmy. They all come back and help their tribe. Solos back in the fold. They all throw the ones up at the end.
No, the worst thing would be like if Cody came out and helped Roman. Right. I would want to jump out my window. I'd go lay down in traffic, I think, if that happened. If Cody somehow got involved with the bloodline again, somehow, I would. That might be the worst thing that could ever happen to me in pro wrestling, is if Cody got involved with the bloodline again. Yeah. I'd be like, I can't do it anymore.
Brother Cody's throwing up the one.
I'm not talking about a rematch with Roman, because I do feel like that should happen. A one-on-one rematch with Roman, I do feel like that should happen. However, if Cody was somehow involved with the bloodline again, I would. I'd be in trouble. I'd be in trouble.
We didn't see Cody or Cena.
I think it needed it because we got 3 weeks of basically the same thing. You know,
so you're Cody. So Cody getting involved, but Heyman's involved.
Yeah, I would say honestly. See, there's so much shit going on with Heyman and like so many things he could do, right? Because he's going to be in Punk's corner. But he's saying that he's loyal to both of them. But then Seth is there. And I think Seth is becoming the favorite in a lot of people's eyes because he's kind of the third wheel. It feels third wheelish. And it's like, no.
Seth doesn't even want Heyman in his quarter. He just wants Heyman not to be there.
Yeah. And there's like, and now Seth, which I think, I think the worst case scenario for me when it comes to the triple threat would be if Heyman helps anybody win. Personally.
Yeah. Just anybody. He just gets involved.
I just don't want him to be involved. And like I don't want him to be involved in the direct outcome of the match. That's what I think so too, Dustin. I think Heyman, I said this it hasn't been announced. Last night Pluggo and I did a thing. We did a thing, and I said it on the thing.
Well, we can tell people what the thing is.
I don't know if she's announced it yet. So I don't want to be.
Yeah, that's true. We'll let said person have the announcement.
That's what I'm saying. But last night
we did a thing with a friend that'll come out next week.
Correct. And we talked about this. And
on
last
the thing.
night,
or did we?
No, we did. We did.
Or did we?
Oh yeah, I thought so. What?
Did we talk?
Now you're confusing me.
Did we do a thing or did we not do a thing?
We just said we did a thing.
Did we not?
We just said it. We did a thing.
We're keeping the mysteriousness.
I'm
alive.
not being mysterious. We did a thing, and it's going to be out next week.
I'm super mysterious.
But Jesus Christ.
Pluggo Mysterioso.
Jesus Christ.
Booyaka, booyaka, mysterious. Booyaka, booyaka, Pluggo. Oh. See?
Are you done?
No.
Are we done? Can I fucking say what I want to say now?
No. Yes, maybe.
For the love of God. I was just agreeing with Dustin and saying that last night on the thing we did, I said that I want Heyman to be annoyed with Punk and Roman making him the center of what they're doing in the match. And he goes, fuck you both. I'm out of here. Which then leads to a potential victory for one of the three combatants. Paul, I'll let you know.
Paul said his would be Seth becoming a guy.
That would be your worst case. That's becoming like a favorite of many.
I think Paul's going to leave mid-match, but he's going to come back because he
helps Seth.
Maybe. I don't know yet. I'm not 100% convinced on that yet, but I do feel like he is going to leave mid-match, and then he shows back up and makes his decision at the end. And your worst case scenario becomes true. He is part of the outcome of the match. The only match we have left to pick the worst possible outcome is John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. The Rock comes back and wins it.
Yes, I was going to say The Rock leaves as WWE champion. That's the worst possible outcome that could happen.
Cena wins it.
And I think, oh, that's a good one, Fernando.
Oh, that would be pretty bad.
That's a good one.
Ric Flair helping Cody.
I would just be so furious in seeing him there that I would be like, come on. We're not better than this in 2025. What are we doing?
What about Charlotte Flair helping Cody retain to?
That would be a way to go. That would be a way to go. After beating Tiffany for the title, she would be a heat magnet. Everyone would be like, "Fucking get her out of here."
That would be that would cement the turn of Cody Rhodes, right?
Because Charlotte would win the title and move actually one step closer to beating her own father's record. So she's like, I don't want John beating that record. I want to beat that record.
Yes.
So Cody, guess what? Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats. That would actually make sense, to be honest with
you. Charlotte.
If we're being real,
we are.
That kind of would make sense. It would be stupid, and I would never do it, but that would kind of make sense. Dustin, see, this is now okay. So Dustin says, prediction on who will face Liv and Raquel. Let me tell you. I am not thrilled. And on Monday, you hopped on the Raw watch along with Joshua Robinson and myself. And Josh went off on a tangent, a very angry tangent, and a rightful one. And I feel the same, and I know you do too. One would believe that Bayley and the current Women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria, will be the two people that win the gauntlet match tomorrow to go face Liv and Raquel at Mania for the tag titles. And I say,
who else is officially in the match? I can't remember. I know we talked about it yesterday. I know we talked about it yesterday.
You know who isn't in the match that should be? Where the hell is Nia and Candice?
Yeah.
How are they not in that match?
Yeah. Give me that. Pull that up while I say, hey guys, we're at 15 likes. Yeah. So if you could find, or sorry, I lied. We're at 16. So you got to have 4 friends, 4 burner accounts. Let's get to 20, maybe to get to 30. Let's party. Let's share the live. Let everybody know where they can find us. It helps in the algorithm. It helps keep us. And if you also want to leave a super chat, by all means, that'd be well appreciated as well. That gets your guaranteed question or statement read on the air, as long as it's within reason and not disrespectful.
Yeah. So it is Caden Carter and Katana Chance. I don't know what they're calling themselves now.
Super nice people. We met them in Indianapolis. They rule, but they ain't winning. Nice. They ain't winning.
Bailey and Lyra.
They're the front runners.
Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark.
Oh, they're so good. I wish they would win.
Yeah. They won't. B-Fab and Mi Chin.
Okay, I like that team too. I think I like what they've been doing with B-Fab and Mi Chin.
Yeah. Maxine Dupree and Natalia.
Yeah, they made that official.
I think that could potential, maybe. And then the team that I would want to win, Piper Niven and Alba Fire. Chelsea Green's service there.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to happen. And again, we talked about it on the thing last night. Bayley had a match with Lyra for the IC title on Raw. Good match. Bayley lost. Lyra retained. At first, Lyra went for the sign of respect, and she went for the handshake with Bayley, and Bayley slapped her hand away. And then she went out the rope like she was going to leave, and I was like, ooh.
Disappointed that she lost.
Yes, but then Bayley was like, and she got in the ring, and she gave her a hug, put up her hand. She was looking at the title the whole time, but she put up her hand. So what I want to happen on Friday, to be honest with you, is I want Bayley to turn heel and walk out or either attack Lyra. And then Chelsea, and then Piper Niven and Alba Fire win this gauntlet match. And then we can have a women's IC title match at Mania with Lyra and Bayley running it back. That is what I would want to happen.
Are you telling me?
We were just talking about worst case scenarios. That would be JPJ's best case scenario.
Yes, that makes sense, right?
This.
Get the IC title on the Mania card.
Correct.
And get the tag titles also on said Mania card with a tag team as well.
Correct.
That makes too much sense. Again, no disrespect to some of these matches that are on this card that we've already talked about, but there's no reason that those 2 matches aren't just on the card. And yeah, that would be cool. I would even be down if Lyra turned and got a little,
totally
give me a little something with Lyra. I'd be like, oh, okay, because she likes birds.
Yep. Dustin, they are one of the, so when I look at this, the 3 teams that I think have a chance to win are Piper and Alba Fire.
Not named Katana Chance.
Unfortunately. Piper and Alba Fire, Bayley and Lyra, and I do think Natalia and Maxine do have a chance because they did that. They showed it on Raw of Maxine talking to Pierce and saying, me and Natalia have an idea. Can I, they built up to them being in this match.
Chelsea Green and her cabinet with some all gold is kind of a cool thing.
That would be cool.
And then you get the IC title match at Mania. Let's do that. Pump Natty up for Bloodsport.
And that is another thing. And I will just say, what I really want to happen in the long term is I want Natalia to turn into that Bloodsport character by beating the shit out of Maxine Dupree at some point.
Oh, poor Maxine.
Sorry. I like Maxine. I do.
Ophelia. Welcome in.
Yes, hi. I like Maxine Dupree. She's gotten a lot better, but that's what I want.
Saturday, I believe. I'd have to double check.
I believe
it's Saturday.
I think is it early? Is it Saturday afternoon?
Or it might be early Friday. Sometimes that's a Friday show. Last year it was a Friday afternoon show. Losing the house. I'll have to double check. If you want a full collective breakdown for Exposure, Saturday morning, 10 a.m. The rest of the card out there. But I would. If Natty, I'd like to see that Natty. That version. Of Natty.
You've watched those? Have you seen those vignettes?
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
I'd love to see her implement that in the ring. I don't care I don't care who wins the gauntlet as long as it's
not
Lyra and Bailey, so that they can have a one-on-one match at Mania. That's my only outcome I want.
I can't have. Why would the women's IC champ be going after the women's tag titles at WrestleMania? Why? I get it. Oh, I'm sorry, Lou. I didn't mean to yell. I'm sorry. It's passion. He needs to know to come off hours.
Lou said this ain't the same vibe. This ain't the vibe.
He's out the door. You see that? He's like, fuck this, dude. He's yelling and shit. I don't got time.
Dad,
I get it.
He's like, Dad, you suck.
I get it.
He goes, you better hope there's food, my bull motherfucker.
I think there is. I usually hook him up pretty good. But
you got the self feeder?
I have a self feeder for his treats in here, like very small amounts.
We got the self feeder for the cats.
But we do it out there. Yeah.
I have one cat though that just like he does not care.
Yeah.
No matter what food is in the area, he's up. I'm like, get off I'm trying to eat. This is mine. Like,
yeah. See, Lou doesn't care about human food at all. Never has. I've put stuff. He's never tried to eat. He's never been interested in honestly any human food.
One of these trash ass cats of mine like ripped through a box.
I'm sure they appreciate that.
Ripped through a box.
Yeah, he's a fucking cat, dude. That's what they do.
Ripped through the box to try to get to the food. I was like, what is wrong?
What kind of food?
It was a cookie. It was like a box of cookies.
See, Lou would never.
That's what I'm saying. It's the most random shit. Like, you need to calm down, bud. He knows I love him.
Lou will he'll see like a bag of oranges and he's like, I want to eat that bag.
No, yeah, my cat's like,
I don't care what's in the bag. I want to eat the plastic bag. And I'm like, I'll kill you.
We got another cat. He don't care about nothing. He's a little fatty. He just chills. He does his thing. And then we got this little orange cat that's just skinny and always trying to eat shit.
Orange cats are supposed to be nutty.
Dude, this dude's wild. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I've heard.
It's on my nerves, man.
Yeah. Anyway, all I'm saying is that the women's IC champion should not be involved in a tag title match at WrestleMania. She should be defending her own fucking belt. Okay.
What else happened on Raw while we're here?
I've complained about it like 4 times already in 45. I'm sorry. It just annoys me. Are
you allowed to go up to a person, cock your fist back, get this close to their face, and go, you owe me a favor because I didn't punch you? Is that allowed?
No. And I will say, absolute bullshit by Seth Rollins that Heyman doesn't owe him nothing.
Yeah, and if I'm Heyman, I stand on business, bro. In this scenario, stand on your business and be like, what, dude, you were going to curb stomp me.
Heyman does not owe Seth Rollins a damn thing. Just because you decided to spare him, sir, does not mean that he owes you anything at all.
Sullivan,
that is not how that works. That is not how that works. So, no, that's not how that works. But anyway.
Now I want people in the chat to give me their best wrestling cat names. We got John Meowxley and Orange Cat City already. All right. I like where this is going.
That's pretty good.
Drop yours in the chat. We also need 3 more likes to get to 20.
Mine still says 11. Do I need to refresh it?
Maybe you need to get up that Boost Mobile, dog.
Boost. Come on. Actually, come on.
Yeah, like I liked everything Seth did up until that point. I like that he planted the seed of doubts with Heyman and said, hey, like, neither one of these guys are really your friend, and you just don't even need to show up. And then all of a sudden he's like, you owe me. And it's like, so what do you want? Him to your favors? He just doesn't show up? Like, you want him in your corner now? Why is Heyman the apple of everyone's eye?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Meowcho man.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I mean, look, he's one, people that usually have Heyman in their corner succeed.
But these guys, having Heyman is a definite bonus, but they don't need Heyman to win matches. They've shown that. But
I think Roman feels like he does, though, kind of.
I
think Roman comes off to me as a guy that feels lost if the wise man's not there.
Well, he's
that's
the
what
one
we've seen. That's what we've seen.
And he's the one in the terms of like having a mouthpiece needs it more than Punk and Seth. Yeah. Roman's gotten much better with his promos, but if you need Heyman to carry a segment, he can do it. Roman. Yeah. But I'm just like, Seth, come on, man. You should have just curb stomped him.
I mean, yeah.
That would have really lit a fire into this.
I actually liked that segment. I liked the ending segment of Raw. I enjoyed it. I do like. I don't like how Heyman. It's weird because I love Heyman and I kind of like how Heyman's being involved, but I also don't want the whole match to revolve around Heyman, which is why I kind of want him to leave during it.
But isn't it kind of feeling that way?
I like how Heyman is like the centerpiece of it. Is that changing the name though?
No, but
it's not really changing the name. It's just changing one.
Katsuyori Shibata.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Oh, I love it. I love this cat wrestling name's the best.
What about
full stop?
What about Kanosuke Takacha?
Takacha. Full stop. Everybody in the chat, leave your favorite cat name / wrestling cat name and put it in the comments below. We're gonna clip that. Use that on socials.
It almost feels like Heyman should be like in a shark cage.
Is there a chance that Paul Heyman leaves with nobody and goes like everybody's like, what the heck? Why would you even question it?
That's what I want.
So if Heyman leaves with nobody, who's the next Paul Heyman guy on the roster?
Well, then I think it becomes a Roman versus Punk thing.
One-on-one. No, but I just mean, let's say they all go like. All of a sudden, Roman goes, well, you questioned it, so I don't. And Punk's like, why'd you question it? Seth's like, you didn't do what I asked. None of us want you. And now Paul's all by himself. Who does he align himself with on the roster? Ooh, Braun Breaker. I like it, affiliate.
That would be good.
Great shout. Braun Breaker would be a good one. That's a perfect one because he could use a guy like Heyman for sure. If he's going,
I wouldn't mind him being with a lady either.
Yeah.
Like imagine if he got paired up with Baszler. Now that Baszler can cut a good promo, so she does. I don't think she actually needs him, but like imagine like that, or like he got like. I'm trying to think if there's anybody like a Zoe Stark again would work, like that type of. You know what I mean? I think it would be different to see him paired up with a lady. Roxanne. I think Roxanne can cut a pretty good promo though.
Did they ever try that? I don't know if they did or not. I can't remember.
But the Punk connection with Roxanne would work. I think that could work. I wouldn't mind Heyman adding a female to his roster. Bronson Reed would be good. That's a good one. That's a good one. Even though I think Bronson can cut a decent promo too, but that's a really good one. Yeah. You know who can cut a good promo? He's actually fighting on Raw next week, and I'm looking forward to it. Is Karrion Kross?
Yeah, he did he just do Van Vliet? Because I saw some clips, and he's
there's one with KO that dropped today.
I've always enjoyed Karrion Kross a lot, even like when he was Killer Kross, and then I just always thought there was something to him. I like that. I know some people don't, based on just the way I've talked about it on my socials. Is like I like Karrion. They slow play him. He doesn't ever do anything. I kind of like it.
What he's doing the last year or so has been real good.
Yeah, they're like slow playing him. He's not wrestling a ton, but he's like involved, and just the way he's been. It's like when he finally maybe breaks out, like it's gonna be good stuff. And again, I think they needed to do that with Karrion Kross because there was a lot of stink on him from the old regime, and I think you needed to figure out this way, and he's really showing a different side of his character. So I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Jade Catgill, that's not good. We're gonna
wait. What?
Jade Catgill.
No, he was talking about Heyman and.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just coming up with more cat names. Yeah, see, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's all right. I like that one. That's a good one. That's cool.
Yeah, it is. That's a great one.
What about Pat Rollins?
Pat Rollins, yeah.
No, I'm kidding. You could do Pat McAfee though.
You could do.
Although, how could you make McAfee like a Matt?
Meowcafee?
Yeah, like could you make like a McCatfee or something like Pat McAfee or something like that? No.
Pat McCat.
Yeah, McCatfee or something.
I already gave away a bunch of money this week.
Party, dude.
Crazy time.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's having a match on Raw, and it's a match with AJ, so I think it'll be a good match because the guy is good in the ring too. So I think they're leaning into it, which I very much enjoy. And it's the little things about Cross that I appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
There's been things about it on social media, but the fact that he changes his hair to look exactly like the person he's on screen with that is a little feature that is just, I appreciate that because he doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need to do that at all. But the fact that he does, I'm like, hell yeah, dude. That's just like a tremendous
do the most with what you're given.
Oh, I love it. It's like a little thing that I'm just like, I appreciate you more because you do that. That's right. What else did happen on Raw?
It was a good Raw, but I think we spent most of the time talking about. But it was fine. We had the Lyra and Bailey stuff. You had the El Grande Americano thing, like we talked about a little bit.
100%.
And then the Seth stuff, and
the Seth stuff I liked.
Meow cool. Meow. That's good.
Meow cool. Oh, Mike. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think of
Paul's angle is he's going to beat you in cat punts and picks, but I don't think he's going to beat you in picks.
That's fair.
Penta versus Dom.
That 6-man tag they had with Grande Americano and the Creeds versus the LWO. That was a blast. that was a good time, man. That was a really, really good time. I enjoyed that match a lot. New Day and the War Raiders. Obviously, there was the DQ finish, which kind of stunk or whatever, or there wasn't a real finish or whatnot. But that was good too. That was good too. We think we're running that back at Mania, right? And the New Day wins because they had the DQ finish, so they'll run that back at Mania, and the New Day will win the titles as the heels, right?
Yeah, I think so. And it's maybe it's just me. This could be just me, and if people want to disagree with me, they can. I don't. The War Raiders just don't do anything for me. Like, I think they're super talented. Don't get me wrong, but like, maybe I'm just not a Viking guy. You know what I mean?
Well, they've kind of gone away. They're more like bikers now.
Yeah,
more like the biker guys.
But they also still haven't done much with them with these.
That's what I was.
When they were like, we're going to Netflix. We've got. It's the show's not 3 hours anymore. It's like 2 and some change. But like why not use this time that you don't have a hard out anymore? Like, give me some vignettes with the Viking Raiders and War Raiders and like make me care. Give me some stuff with Lyra that makes me care. Like, the mid card feels like some of these people are just holding titles until bigger names, but like that's how you build stars, right? Like, I just don't. What do the War Raiders do where I'm like, yep. Those are my guys.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. Like, they've had good matches when they're defending the titles and stuff like that, but they don't cut promos a lot. I don't see their characters. I don't see them backstage interacting with people. I think that is true. Like, they have backstage segments now, and they've gotten a lot better since the new regime has taken over about like things happening in the background of like people walking by. But like, I still feel like there's not as much backstage interactions as there used to be back in the day. Like, I feel like back in the day, in between matches and in between things, there were way more backstage interactions where you saw them just like they were wrestling conversations, like building to stuff. But I don't know. I just felt like there's not as much.
Like, remember when they were doing the stuff with the Street Profits?
Oh my! When they were going to the fair.
Yeah, it was goofy and it was
to play basketball.
Yeah, it was goofy and it was silly, but at least it was showing me something, like showing me another side to these guys and showing me. Here they're kind of like they're the War Raiders.
Yeah,
they're bikers now, and then I like this Kitty Omega.
That's a good one. Hey,
Kyle Shaw's and us the Goose. Honk, honk, honk. Do you think Ivar?
I think.
The Sean or the Marty.
Listen, Ivar Warbeard Hansen, as I call him, from the Northeast, he is one of the best big men to ever wrestle. Ever. Go watch it. Go watch them when they were in Japan. He's had big time. They both have had major injuries that they are not the same. They are not. Yeah, those old school backstage brawls. Yeah, that was another thing. Obviously, both of those guys in the War Raiders have had major neck injuries and serious injuries. So in ring, they're still good, but they are not what they used to be. You go back and watch those NXT matches when they first got to NXT. Oh boy. And all the stuff they did in Japan, both of them were incredible. But Ivar, Warbeard Hansen, dude.
Yeah, they're
insane,
super
man.
good, but I just need a little bit more from them on my end. We hit our goal of 20 likes. Thank you to everybody. But keep on smashing the like button because we're just a mere 130 likes away from JPJ taking his shirt off. So if we can get that done
not on this show, but at some point.
What?
I'm not mentally prepared for that. I got a lot going on.
I
got a lot going on. I'm not mentally prepared for that.
You don't listen. What we'll
Plus,
do?
I don't trust anybody.
What we'll do is we'll do this. We'll put this up. You take your shirt off. We'll pop down. You'll be topless. It'll sell.
No.
Okay. That's what the
we'll
Rizzler.
No, let's see it. Let's see if we get there. Yeah, exactly. See, Drew's. That's what's going to happen.
True.
Yeah, true. That's what's going to happen. That's why I don't trust anybody.
120 burners. That is dedication to get you to pop that shirt. I popped a shirt off on stream for the first time.
Yeah, I don't know why you did that.
It was spur of the moment. We hit our goal. Blair said he was going to do it, and then I was just like, everybody was like, "Pluggo!" Like I was like, I can't leave my guy hanging.
It's fair.
Is JPJ never a nude?
No. That actually helps because this month's theme for LPW is Arrested Development, and a never nude is from.
I've never seen it.
Ophelia. Nope.
How much of a super chat to make? Every man has a price.
My price is not
$100.
No way. More than
$500.
Maybe I would contemplate it. it. On air though, where it is forever. That's different.
Wait a minute. So then, what would be the point? Where would you do this, where it wouldn't be seen forever?
I don't know.
That's the point.
But that's something like, what if I run for?
You're like, oh, you left me a $500. You left me a $500 super chat. I took my shirt off before I got in the shower. If you send a
super chat, I would assume that would come to me, but YouTube would get a piece of it, and then the site would get a piece of it. I'm not splitting my money for no one if you're seeing my titties. If I'm whipping these things out, that money's all coming to me, baby. I ain't sharing that with no one.
You don't have to go. You could go you could just go. I love this thought that the idea of you taking your shirt off in private counts. It would have to be on stream for everyone.
Listen, you gotta earn to see this.
Well, that's what we're trying to come up with.
Yeah, but no, the number, no.
$1,000.
Come on, now you're getting ridiculous. If somebody was going to give me $1,000,
somebody
will though. That's a crazy thing. But here's the thing: I don't want anyone to send it. Don't do it, because that's not me. That's not coming to me. Nope. It would be a wire transfer to my shit.
How many? Okay. See, but again, you initially started with no, and now we've got you at least discussing.
Yeah, Paul. I agree. This is a rabbit hole that I'm clearly not interested in. So
I'm just trying to make a little money.
You wouldn't be making any money because it would all be coming to me.
Hey, you know what? I'm a charitable guy. I don't get a brokerage fee for coming up with this. I don't get 10% off the top.
No, because I would be doing something that I would never stop thinking about until I die.
If we got $1,000 super chat, I wouldn't let you go shirtless without popping it off too for you. I'd be there with you. Solidarity, brother.
Hey, look at I appreciate that.
Yeah, see? So just trying to make miracles happen.
You had to meet me 10 years ago where I didn't give a shit about anything on earth. Now that I'm old and curmudgeon-y, I care too much about things. So I'm like, fun? Get out of here. No way.
Well, joke's on you because Drew did make 120 burners.
I know. That's why I'm not doing it.
Oh, man. Missing out, man. It's freeing.
I ain't no fool. I threw that number out there so we would get a ton of likes.
But you got to deliver.
Sometimes we're delivering by giving them 2 hours of great fucking content.
Yeah, the older you get, the less you should care.
I agree, but what if you did all your not caring in your earlier years, and it's significantly hampered your later life, because that's where I'm at. So, you know.
The only people that'll see it is Ryan and Ophelia.
You know how like when you're a kid and you first start working in your 20s and you're still in that, like, I work full time, but I party and I have a good time. And we all go through that phase and things like that. Now, you remember those commercials that like you'll see on TV where it's like, make sure you plan for the future and save money and do all these things so you don't hate the younger you. Well, guess what? My younger you sucked. We had a good time, but you sucked, buddy.
So, but my question to you is, popping the shirt off for $1,000 super chat, how does that ruin your future?
It doesn't. It just gives people the goods that don't have the right to see the goods.
Who?
The people that didn't pay me $1,000.
But that's but you got the money, so it's good.
Yes, but I got the money from one person, so that one person.
But then you get the notoriety, then you get all of the fanfare that comes with it. I think you're not thinking this all the way through.
Oh yeah, my camera's messing up right now. So maybe
you are. You're a little right now is the perfect opportunity.
Why am I blocky?
You are very blurry now. I'm perfect.
Not for me though. It's the other way around for me.
Oh, for me, you're
so it has to be on my end, obviously, if everybody is seeing me that way.
I don't know, but if you're blurry, perfect time, pop it off, no one can see anything.
Yeah. See, viral tweet. See, that's the thing. That's the
the goal.
But it's
more eyes on the prize. Don't you?
What they will see is the prize.
What if the shirt got popped off, you got a cool brand, and then all of a sudden we got picked up by like everywhere. We became like the most must-see Thursday night program in the world.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm
just throwing stuff. I'm just saying, man.
It is what it is. We'll see. We'll see if we get there. Maybe we'll talk about it more. But as far as I'm concerned, 131 more likes. So, yeah.
Well, it's actually 130. Is it 129?
I'm still at 19 because my shit is just apparently broke. So, on that note,
AEW had themselves a week.
I would call it a week did occur.
A week did occur
for AEW. And let me tell you, not that great of a week, Pluggo, I'm going to say.
No? Okay. Let me ask you this. Don't go too deep into it. You can if you want. Obviously, we have time. Overall, Dynasty, what did you think? 1 to 10.
I like how people are giving me like they're like giving me strategies. Listen, I got the goods under there. You've seen the goods, Pluggo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why aren't we sharing this to the world?
Exactly.
We've shared close quarters.
Perfect chest hair. Perfect chest hair.
So just pop it on.
It's immaculate.
$1,000, 150 likes.
Yeah.
Maybe we get like a sponsorship out of the deal.
What kind of sponsorship are we gonna get?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Somebody will be like, "Ooh, yeah, look at
beef jerky or something like that."
Yeah. Yeah, we used to. No, that's funny that Dustin says
we talked about that.
We messed around with that idea for a little bit.
That was early on, though. That's when we weren't jaded.
Remember
when we weren't jaded about everything.
We photoshopped Warren Hayes' face on.
We did. Yes, we were. Yes,
Mr. March. I think
there were serious talk in year one. There were serious talks to do some
about
crazy shit.
A B2B calendar. It used to get real wild.
We were going to do some stuff in year one, and then I don't know what happened, but we got
fireman style B2B calendar. Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah.
If popping out your booths on an LPW is worth $1,000, I'm owed Monday for my last couple. Yeah, dude.
You know?
Hey, I'm trying to get you paid. I'm trying to get people paid, baby.
Listen, I could use it.
All right, 1 to 10. What'd you think of Dynasty?
I'd give it a solid. I think I would give it a solid 7.5 to 8 range.
Had Swerve won, what would you have given it?
Probably an 8-5.
Okay. Because that's all I keep seeing is that was the damper of the night. Was Swerve didn't win. That's all I keep seeing on the internet.
Here's my thing. I understand why people feel that way. I was actually okay with it.
I've been on the bandwagon that he wasn't since he became the
I know, and yeah, we talked about you today on Firmly because I said Pluggo's been saying this shit for months that they're just doing it to piss us off over and over again. So when he finally loses, we're jumping for. I'll take my shirt off when he finally loses.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. See, and Ophelia, I understand why you said that, but I actually thought the main event match, the first half of it was kind of slow. Like, I didn't think they should have started. Like, I didn't mind after what happened on Wednesday last week, where he did the glass stuff with Swerve and all that stuff at the end. I don't think they should have started with like chain wrestling. That didn't make sense to me. It should have started a little bit more personal than that. But I feel like the main event match itself, like, I didn't think it was a bad main event match. I thought the match was actually good. Like, I actually enjoyed the main event. And then it got wild with the Hangman stuff and the ops. I actually enjoyed all that. And because okay. Even though the main event ended the same way, the Revolution. But yes, but I'm specifically comparing it to the last two shows, Revolution and this. Okay. I felt a certain way after Revolution, not because Adam Copeland didn't win or anything like that. It's just the way it went down to me was, I can't believe they just did that again like that.
Well, he also had those 3 classics right before it.
Yes. The way that this went down, even though I thought, and I still think the right decision was to put Swerve over, the fact that the Young Bucks came back right as the show ended, I said, I mean, Drew agreed with me when we did the reacts for Love Wrestling on Sunday night. I said, I'm not willing to cast full judgment on it until I hear the Young Bucks explanation.
Which did you like said explanation?
Absolutely fucking not.
Okay.
The beginning,
keep going.
I thought Dynamite stunk last night in general. Stunk.
Yeah, it wasn't the best Dynamite.
The beginning segment of that show with the opening match, which I was looking forward to, through the Young Bucks promo, and I love Kenny Omega, but what the fuck was Kenny Omega talking about last night? What the fuck was he talking about?
On the carpet, man.
That whole thing, up until Swerve came out there, was garbage. Yeah, garbage.
He was saying, like, keep pooping on the carpet, and I eventually had to step in and get involved.
It was, yeah, he was talking about Dookie.
But let's talk about
was Dookie.
Let's talk about just what you said the explanation. So their explanation was that they were helping their friend Hangman out, because I think they're still trying to recruit Hangman to the Elite, which I don't know why, and that they are doing a peace offering to the Death Riders. So those two things, one, Hangman has not shown any interest in wanting to align with the Bucks. They used to be friends. I get it. They're trying to get him back because he's a badass. The Death Riders piece of this, the peace offering, is saying we could really run shit around here if we all joined forces. That I was like, but Moxley, I get why the Bucks said it. I'm surprised the Bucks are still leaning into this heel stuff. But Moxley, you're part of the problem, Matt and Nick. That's why he's doing this. I don't think John Moxley's going to be Mr. Corporate, so I think they're barking up the wrong tree. For what reason, I don't know.
And the way that, and my thing was, right, and the reason why I reserved full judgment and why I wasn't necessarily upset about the way Dynasty ended was because the last time we saw the Young Bucks, they were shredding documents. They were fleeing the arena because the Death Riders and Moxley were looking for them. Yeah. So I was like, ooh, maybe they have dirt on the Young Bucks, and that's why they're running away. And this was the Young Bucks coming back and saying, hey, we helped you win. We helped you win. So what, we're all cool here. We helped you. That's what I thought. Like, ooh, maybe this will be like a greater story above the story. And it's just fucking not. They were just like, yeah, no, we just wanted to come back and we don't want them bothering us. So we helped them win. What? What does that fucking mean?
I mean, I wouldn't.
And then Omega comes out and he cuts this promo. And fine, I understand what he was saying. I just thought, even for him, I thought it was a little too quirky.
Yeah.
But, like, I get what he was saying. And I love Kenny. But, like, and then they just throw away the shredding of documents in a fucking one-liner in the middle of his promo where he just goes, oh, yeah, you were just shredding away he says, what, the jets? And then he talks about, like, sex chairs in their bedroom.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. It's like, what? Yeah, that's what that was. What? Get out of here, man.
I think the craziest part about it was everybody wants the Death Riders angle to at least change up or come to an end, and everybody was hoping the EVP thing would fizzle out a little bit too, because it really wasn't hitting super well when they left either. Man. I'm glad the Young Bucks are back. I'm glad Kenny's back, but I don't know if this.
When Kenny first came out, I was excited. I was like, oh shit. Oh, all right. Kenny in the Buck. Yeah, all right. Like, cool. I was like, here we go. And then it was just like, huh? And then he gets in there and he wants to fight him. And then Swerve gets in there and they run off and like Kenny and Swerve fist bump and that's fine. And then the Swerve part of it I liked. With Swerve saying it's buck hunting season and I'm ready to shoot, you know. I was all into that because, listen, and this is completely, we'll get to it later, I guess, because it's kind of off topic with the story that we're talking about. But I think AEW potentially has a problem on their hands here moving forward.
Well,
because I think it's clear that we're going in the direction that at All In, which I think they have basically told us over the last 2.5 to 3 years, that this is their new wrestle. Like this is their All In is their WrestleMania. That's their big event now. Every year is All In, right?
Yeah.
I think we are heading for the Young Bucks to go against Hangman and Swerve at that show. I think that's what we're going to get. Hangman and Swerve are going to end up teaming up, and I think it's versus the Young Bucks at All In, which is fine. And again, that'll be fun. Again, I'm not upset that the Young Bucks are back. I'm upset that
who fights Moxley for the title?
Will Ospreay, who's going to win the Owen.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. We still have the Owen in the mix.
Correct.
I keep forgetting about the Owen.
Will Ospreay will win the Owen.
Yeah.
And he will face Moxley at All In. However, the reaction last night that Swerve got, even when he wasn't in the ring, when the Bucks were out there, when Moxley was out there, that crowd throughout the night was chanting for Swerve.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that most of the AEW audience, Swerve is the guy. He's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He is the guy. And I just feel like Will Ospreay being the savior of AEW in a couple months might not hit. It is going to hit good because we're going to be so sick of the Death Riders that it's going to hit good, baby. It's going to hit good, baby. And I think that's why they're doing this the way they're doing
at this point, Griff Garrison could win that thing.
That's what I'm saying, because that's where we're almost at. I think we're almost there.
John Silver comes out, takes that title.
It's going to hit good, right? It's going to hit good, but I don't think it's going to hit as good as it would hit if it was Swerve.
Yeah.
Because I think Swerve is the guy, but they're getting us to the point where Ospreay is the guy. Not saying that he doesn't deserve to be the guy, because Will is great.
Yeah.
But
no disrespect to Will. He was in a 400K 8-man tag match.
Hey man, that match actually ruled.
Good.
That was a great time.
Good.
That was a great time.
That match. It was coming off of Dynasty and coming off the way that finished.
Well, his match with Kevin.
I would have liked, for one, I would have liked Kenny to be a little bit more pissed off.
Yes.
I really would.
I thought he did an okay job explaining.
And I understand that he's coming out and he's trying to be like the peacemaker, just the cool. I wanted him to be like, "What the fuck, guys? Like, come on!
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're doing with our return. We're back to the same BS. Like, this shit's got to stop. and then I would have liked the Bucks to explain it a little bit better. But then Swerve mentions blood and guts as he's walking back from the ramp. And I'm thinking, like, okay, so who's going to align with Swerve? Who's going to be in this blood and guts match? Are we going to get the Bucks and the Death Riders?
Well,
and then Kenny Swerve? Is that how?
So unfortunately, it looked like Pac got hurt last night.
I saw some stuff, that he might have broken ankle again or something. I hope not.
That would suck tremendously. I hope not. That would suck tremendously.
I wish that man...
The injury bug for AEW in general.
The injury bug for Pac. Every time he starts cooking and gets going and has a banger match.
Stinks.
Oh, every time.
Yeah. So...
He's got to get off that mountain first, Paul.
That's what I was going to say. So that means that Moxley would have to hold that title even past All In, and that is just too long. That is just too long for him to be holding that title.
Can I hold that? And I understand that Tony Khan is a very loose boss, and he's all kind of
if you're going to go where I'm going to go,
do your thing. You could do your. If Darby is your guy, somebody's got to step in and go, maybe climbing Mount Everest right now is not a good idea.
Correct.
Because you were the guy, and now we've had to do all this other stuff. Now, granted, I've always said I don't think Darby's the guy. I'm just not there with him being the AEW World Champion right now. But the dude is on the mountain for the next 2 months. And then he's going to come back. And again, I've never done anything like that, but I would imagine there's got
to be a recovery time.
There's got to be a recovery period. You're not going to be your peak physical condition.
No way.
And so now we're going to be sitting there going okay.
So my thing is,
do not hold off on. Let's not hold off. Let's not wait on Darby.
Well, and again, I don't think they are anymore. I don't think they are. I think they did at the beginning. Beginning, but I don't think they are anymore. But I agree with you. I've been saying this for a long time. Listen, I don't think it would be. Look, you should not prevent people, especially people that work for you or under you. You should not prevent them from reaching goals of theirs. You should be helping them achieve those goals. That is your job as a leader. Okay?
Sure.
Get that out of the way. All right? But again, you're not running a coffee shop. You're not running a hardware store. You are running a multi-million-dollar wrestling company that just signed, that just signed a $5 million contract with Warner Brother Television. Now, I understand that last year was the year that this was originally supposed to happen, and he got hit by a bus, and he broke his foot, and all this stuff happened, and he couldn't go, okay? But then guess what? When this whole Death Riders thing happened, it started with this whole change of Moxley's character. It started with Darby Allin. He bullied Darby Allin into putting the title shot up for grabs. So he beat Darby. He manipulated Darby to get to the title, and he won the title, and we haven't seen the fucking thing since.
We haven't seen Darby really since either.
In my opinion, the way the story has been told from day one, Darby still is the most logical guy to take the title from Moxley. With that being said, you got to get the fuck away. Nope, sorry. But I agree with you, and I know Drew and I had talked about it before. At some point, Tony should have been a boss and walked over to Darby and said, hey, man, this was supposed to happen last year. I'm sorry that bad luck happened and it didn't. I want you to achieve your goals, but this is my plan and it's happening right now. You can do this next year. Or we can revisit this down the line, but I pay you a lot of money. You work for me. You're not doing it.
Yeah, it's tough.
You started this story and you are the center of it. Man. Man.
So I also kind of just say that, get that out, Darby, we shouldn't even be worrying about that. So Paul, listen, and I wish him the absolute best, but Paul's right. That's no joke. Climbing Everest ain't rock climbing with your buddies. That's a jaunt. It's very dangerous. That change. I wish him the absolute best, but I don't want to sit here and hope that we're going to keep this going. And Swerve, everybody thought that was the Dynasty guy. That was the guy. They didn't do it. Now we have to go to all. You're not going to do it a double or nothing. Maybe you do it a double or nothing. But isn't the Owen Hart final at double or nothing?
Final. See, here's my thing.
So are we gonna get like? What's that?
I don't think Mox is defending the world title.
But I'm saying, are we gonna get like Anarchy in the Arena type deal at Double or Nothing with the Death Riders then? Because you're not gonna defend it.
I think that Moxley's probably going to have to step in for Pac in the trios. That's why they did the end angle of Dynamite last night the way they did.
Yeah, it felt like they kind of like. Which, by the way, I kind of like the Ops a little bit. I like
the Ops a lot a bit. I like the Ops a lot a bit.
I kind of like the way he. So I'm assuming the Ops are going to get the trios titles.
And I am.
This rated FTR didn't do it. God damn it.
Oh, can I tell you?
Okay. Yeah, this is
all right. No, time out. We're still. Are we done with the main event? Have we moved on?
Yeah, we've moved on.
What a fucking heel turn by those guys! Tremendous at the pay-per-view. When Cash got on the gurney and put the neck brace on and was starting to like fake and
that was messed up.
Oh, brother. Oh, I was like, holy shit.
Like, you guys
what
are
is this? Oh, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is tremendous. Great heel turn. We all knew it was coming, but what a beauty. Yeah. What a beauty of a heel turn there.
Now again, Pac getting injured sucks, but I wonder if they would have known that now they would have pulled the trigger.
But I do think that's why they did what they did at the end of the show, and Moxley was kind of out there involved, and Shibata choked Moxley out, because I do think Moxley will step up and say, "Hey, well, I'm in the group. We're doing it." And I think Moxley Wheeler Yuta can get pinned, and it doesn't hurt Moxley at all, and whatever. Or Wheeler Yuta can get choked out by Joe, however.
Or John Moxley could pull a Don Callis and start taking applications.
You know. So I do think at Double or Nothing, there's a good chance that Moxley's in a trios match for the title, and he doesn't defend the world title because he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to, because you're finding out who his next challenger is. Or he pulls double duty and he goes twice, and he probably wins them both, further cementing that he fucking runs shit, and we all just have to fucking deal with it.
Yeah, because I don't think you're going to do the trios title
right now. Logistically, who would you? We got about a month until Double or Nothing, right?
Yeah.
Right now, currently speaking, who would be the guy that would challenge? Obviously the Owen is for the All In, so we don't worry about that. If they're not in the Owen, so Hangman's out, Ospreay's out, Takeshita's out, Brody King's out.
Yeah, but they'll have some losses by the time we get
exactly.
there.
But I'm saying, like, besides the final two that you think
you could run Swerve and Mox back, but
then you have Mox beat him again.
Right. So yeah, you're right. I don't know what you do. You've kind of painted yourself into this interesting corner where you're like,
because now you have Swerve wanting the Bucks. He doesn't even care about Moxley anymore. His sights are on the Bucks.
Yeah.
So that's what that feels like to me. So it feels like to me that that's where he's going. Yeah. So right now, realistically, after the one Dynamite who would fight Moxley?
Are we sitting here going that AEW has a problem with a lack of depth in the main event scene with all?
Well, maybe they're doing Jay White is injured. Orange Cassidy is injured. They just lost Pac. Like there's things, they've had a little bit of the mini injury bug.
Give it to Ricochet, man. Let Ricochet face Mox.
I don't know who you would pick to just you can slide in Rand, but like you don't want to do it's a world title.
Yeah.
So maybe So maybe you have, exactly. Yeah. So maybe you have Moxley say, hey, guess what? We got a soldier down. We got challenged to a trios match at Double or Nothing. We accept. I'm stepping in for Pac, and then I'll see who my next challenger is in the main event, the final for the whatever.
Yeah.
And then we'll go, and then you can have Mox come out for a stare down. Obviously not with the title because we don't see it, but you could have Mox confront the winner in the ring to end the pay-per-view, because they don't have a pay-per-view scheduled for June. So it goes from Double or Nothing, which is the end of May, and then
Forbidden Door.
I think that's after All In now.
Is that in July still?
No, All In is in July, and then Forbidden Door is in August because they separated All In and All Out.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because then All In is
either way. We all know that Forbidden Door is a.
And that's in London, so it would make sense that Will Ospreay would show up in London as the AEW champion after beating Moxley at All In.
Yeah,
that would make sense, right? So
Tony's got a lot going on.
Yeah,
a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah.
I can't tell if it's good or bad because there's a lot going on, and I'm like, I feel like we have I think it was Fernando said in the chat, we have a lot more questions than answers. Yeah, which is a good thing, but at the same time, like, they got some pieces they got some holes they gotta plug, so to speak. Make it make sense. That's all.
Yeah. So you had that. You had, I mean, if we're still talking, Dynasty, So the Death Riders are the trios champions, but now one of them potentially could be injured badly. Hopefully not, but potentially. He was seen leaving on crutches, and they said it's an ankle injury of sorts. So, okay, that stinks. Will Ospreay and Kevin Knight was excellent to open the show, to open the main card, I should say. The 8-man tag they were both a part of on Dynamite. That was a lot of fun. I love the promos of the 8-man tag that we need
videos of each one of those guys doing those things.
Yeah. Well, because the funny part that I loved was you could tell the difference between, because Ricochet, when his team is talking, Ricochet's, calling himself the captain. He's calling it Team Ricochet. He's going, there's a lot of things I can do with $400,000.
Yeah, he wasn't splitting that shit up. Yeah,
but then you go to the other four, and they're like, each of us can win. And Mark Briscoe is leading the troops, which is just, love Mark Briscoe.
And they were just in some tunnel.
They were like outside in like a, whatever.
That's cool.
And he, and I loved it because he's like, what are you going to do?
But I know he's a friend of the show, and we all love him. But Speedball, you ain't buying no shoes, brother. Come on,
he ain't buying.
Don't be lying to us like that. You ain't spending $100,000 on some shoes.
I cannot believe he would deceive us like that.
Yeah, come on, Speedy. We know better.
But I thought it was funny, and then they go back to Briscoe, and he's like, "I'm going to diversify my portfolio." And then everyone like takes a second and laughs because it's hilarious, and then he's like, "But that's besides the point." And he starts going back into the, oh man.
I'm not the biggest Mark Briscoe guy, but that dude would make me run through a brick wall. Like if he get me hyped up, like keep a hype man. Yeah, man,
I love him. How you feeling about the MJF Hurt Syndicate stuff?
I mean, George Costanza.
I love that line by Shelton. That made me actually laugh. That line by Shelton actually made me laugh.
So he did kind of what we talked about last week. He helped the Hurt Syndicate win. Now, granted, Bobby wasn't happy about it. He said if he saw it, but he gave Big Bill that punch, and then Spear gets the win over the learning tree. And then he comes out and he tries to come into the celebration, which I thought was kind of cool. And Shelton's just giving him a look, and Bobby's just not having it. Like Shelton also gave him the thumbs down. So I guess you need 3 thumbs up in the Hurt Syndicate to join the Hurt Syndicate. That's all you need. Yeah. And he only got 1 thumbs. He didn't even get. I don't even think. I mean,
MVP said, "You know how I feel." Like,
yeah. So he thumbs up. So he got 2 thumbs down. But Shelton later on in the night was like, "He's kind of funny. He's kind of funny."
He did. Yeah, he said he's kind of funny.
But I'm loving the MJF going like, do these guys? And I love that line where he's like, "These guys not know who I am," and MVP's like, "No, they know exactly who you are. That's why, and you need to show them another side of you to get them to buy in because they know who you are." So I'm really interested in where this goes.
I love the what.
Will MJF ultimately cost them the tag title? So that's where we get a match here.
I love the line that MVP said to like prove that point where he was like, "I'm a businessman." And what businessmen do is they find what the consumer wants and they lean in and they give it to him.
Yeah.
And so like, and MJF is kind of like, and he's pondering now.
Yeah, exactly. Like you taking your shirt off on stream for $1,000.
Hey man.
I'm a businessman.
130 more likes still. So plus, we got 27 minutes. The thing that, again, and I don't like coming at it from a way of like just talking about the thing that bothered me, because I actually really dig what's going on with MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. I'm very much digging it. I like it a lot. However, why would Shelton give a thumbs down in the ring if later on he seems to be in with MVP, that he's cool with MJF joining the group? Because Bobby gets angry. He cracks the George Costanza line. He does the, "Hey, he's funny though." And Bobby storms off pissed. And then Shelton looks at MVP and he goes, "I'll talk to him." Which
maybe
to me,
he's changed his mind.
which to me signifies that Shelton is going to talk to Bobby to try to convince him about MJF. And so in my brain, I'm like, then why the hell didn't you give him a thumbs up out there?
Changed his mind. Something must have happened that we don't know about yet.
What did?
I don't know.
Shelton, because the MJF promo, which I liked with MVP one-on-one in the back, that happened after that. So what could have Shelton have seen?
Maybe Shelton in the moment
changed his mind.
Maybe Shelton in the moment gave him a hard thumbs down because he saw how pissed Bobby was, and then he sat on it for a minute talking to MVP backstage. Because we just see them cut to them with Alicia Atout and having the promo. Shout out to Alicia Atout, friend of the show. Maybe MVP and them were talking about it, and Shelton's like, maybe I could be convinced. Maybe MVP was like angling, like maybe he knows he can't convince Bobby, but he can convince Shelton. So if he can get Shelton on board, then maybe the two of them could then have made. But they didn't tell that story on Wednesday. They didn't plant that part of it. But I'm assuming that's where they're going.
Yeah,
People change their mind all the time, man.
Yeah. So. Some people.
Mrs. Pluggo stood me up on our first date. That's fact.
Wait, what do you mean she stood you up?
She didn't show up on her first.
And you stayed the course.
And I stayed the course, and look at us now. So yeah, she gave me.
She felt pity for you. She felt pity for you. She gave you a pity date, and you actually won her over.
I'll have to ask her exactly what happened there because I can't remember the full story, but I know that we were supposed to meet up for drinks and she never showed up. She did text me though and said she couldn't make it, but I was already there. And now look at us. So yeah, she, who knows?
Wow, big timed you. And then on your anniversary, she big timed you for your friend.
To be fair, only for a little bit, but I was like, go ahead, go say hi to him. It's fine.
Wow.
Like I said, I'm
unbelievable.
I'm a nice guy.
So it was brought to my attention that either during the Hurt Syndicate segment with MJF in the ring, I believe one of the announcers, Excalibur, I believed he mentioned or he said the phrase "the Pinnacle" during the segment. Now, he didn't reference the Pinnacle because in AEW, MJF had the group, and FTR was a part of the Pinnacle.
Yeah.
FTR has made it clear that they want to go over for the tag titles. So some people are throwing it out there. Drew mentioned it earlier today. We chatted on it a smidge. Tony Schiavone said it. There you go. Tony, we're going to get to Tony Schiavone in this here because I think that Saturday night might not go well for Mr. Schiavone. I think it might not go well. But we'll get to that. But so Schiavone said it. He didn't say the Pinnacle as in referencing the old AEW stable, the Pinnacle. He just used the phrase like, oh, well, that's like the pinnacle of the bit. He said it in some form like that.
Yeah.
So that maybe means that, all right. And Paul's even saying that they've mentioned it a few times. So what if we get an FTR Hurt Business tag title match sooner than later?
Because the Hurt Business are faces, man.
Yeah. And what if MJF helped FTR beat them for the titles? And kind of screwed the Hurt Syndicate and kind of aligned with FTR, heel FTR.
Sure. I mean, again, like if MJF is the type of guy that he's not going to sit here and be strung along to join some group. If you don't want him, like he said, he's MJF, so he might just go, hey, my old buddies, my old stomp, here, listen, you didn't want my help. These guys do. Screw you.
Because I think about it and I'm like, well, because another match that I think we're clearly on a, no pun intended, a collision course for at All In.
He said it. He said the
is thing. I think it's going to be FTR versus, and I know what I'm going to call them, but they're always going to be this name, Edge and Christian. I think that's a match we're getting it all.
We got to do some work to get Christian on that face side.
I mean, it's 3 months away. It's 3 months away. Sure. Edge is going to be out indefinitely, they said last night, so I would assume maybe through
Double or nothing.
Double or nothing. So maybe a month he'll be out. If he comes back at the beginning of June and you have 6 or 7 weeks, we haven't seen Christian in a while now since the week after Revolution.
Since they started this really interesting stuff with Nick Wayne, they were like
crazy.
We don't need Christian anymore. It's like, wait, what?
So they're two guys that have both been Edge was clearly kicked out of his friendship group, clearly.
Yeah.
And Christian's family are getting tired, if not are done with his bullshit. That is just kind of again, you would have to, like I said, you'd have to explain it a bit because, but
luckily there's not a lot of explaining it needs. They have a history. Correct. They could talk it out. Bygones be bygones.
Correct.
They both have a common goal here or something. Yeah, they could do it, but
that match would mean a lot more if by the time we got there, if FTR were also the tag champs, because MJF helped them beat the Hurt Syndicate.
Just because you can tell it easily doesn't mean you should, Tony. Let's put some minutia behind this thing, please.
Yeah.
Give me some stories, man.
I think that's also gonna happen.
Possibly, yeah.
So again, they have to do things to get to these stories, guys. But I do think by the time we're sitting down, 2.5 months from now for the All-In preview show here on Beards, I think these are some legitimately big match. Like that's where Ospreay and Moxley, Hangman and Swerve versus the Bucks, FTR versus Edge and Christian. Like those are 3
MJF versus Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Mercedes versus Tony Storm for the main women's title. Like there are gonna be some massive.
What'd you think of that?
Versus Bobby would be great.
What did you think of that women's world title match there?
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
However, me and you both went in saying create chaos and put it on Megan Bayne.
However,
I thought the way that the match played out, I was okay with it. I thought it played out the way that made I wasn't upset.
Okay.
Again, I think what happens this next few weeks to a month with Megan Bayne matters.
Yeah, hell, even Bully Ray came out and was like, protect her at all costs.
Yes.
Even Bully Ray is like,
yes.
He's like, don't you screw this up.
Yes. Like she lost, fine. I didn't mind the backstage segment it was quick, but I didn't mind what was on Dynamite last. But she needs to be on TV often. She needs to be destroying people often. It needs to continue. I don't want that to be, she lost, so let's not really do anything with her for the next 2 months. No. I want her on the All-In card against a prominent opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Personally for me, I think, see, I don't know, because I would think if Mercedes is going to lose the TBS, because I do think Mercedes wins the Owen, right? Okay. So Mercedes will be fighting Tony Storm for the world title at All-In. She is doing the belt collector thing, so I could still see her, but I feel like you would get the TBS title off of her before that. That's what I feel like.
I mean, I like the idea of Megan Bayne busting up I just don't know how you keep her with the Owen. See, that's the thing. You throw the
because I'm thinking, what if Megan Bayne goes for the TBS title? Because Mercedes has taken the next step with the Owen to the main title.
You could do that.
But I would think the only person that would beat Mercedes would be Athena, right?
Exactly. This is where,
Athena's fighting Mercedes in the second round, and Mercedes should win. Right? No?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's where that's where the wrench where it's you had Athena and Mercedes on the same side. I would have rather have that been a collision.
That should be the
final.
No question.
But then you have
Mercedes again.
And earlier somebody mentioned about Tony pivoting, and I know he talked about it in the press scrum that he pivots when I don't think they expected Megan Bayne to catch fire the way she has. So now they have this situation where they have this collision course for Tony, Mercedes, the Owen, Athena. All this stuff is there's options, but how do you keep all 5 or 4 of these people strong? How do we do it? How do we? Because you got Mercedes with that belt, and she's got it on a stranglehold, and whoever beats her, it has to mean something. But also beating her on the way to All-In for the world title, does that hurt? Does that help? I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm interested to see where we go and how we get there. Megan said she's showing up at Collision and she's going to wreck some people, and she's not done with Tony Storm. So we'll see.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's how I feel. Yeah. So again, I went in very strongly being like, it would be cool if they did it. And they just said, fuck it, we got fire in a barrel, man. Let's go. Like, and I thought it would have been cool, but the way the match, I thought they went over 15 minutes. Like they had the match, and Bane looked like a beast in that match. She was throwing her around. Like I thought the match played out very well. And,
I'm super intrigued on where you go now.
Yeah, now is the crucial part for that. Now it is crucial that they remain booking her as strong as they possibly can. They have to.
And I just don't know how you get her into the TBS title picture right now.
Yeah,
unless you do something like you get Mercedes versus Athena because Mercedes has to win the Owen. I'm trying to think, how do you get Athena challenges
I almost
Mercedes?
want Mercedes to help Harley Cameron upset Athena in the first round.
I almost want Athena to just beat her there.
Like they won't do it because I think what they're doing is that second round matchup with Mercedes. That's going to main event the special Boston Dynamite next week, I think.
Yeah, for sure. In Boston.
Or one of those shows, because unfortunately, next Thursday night, AEW is counter programming. You want to do a watch along for it? Should we? It's a Mania preview night, though.
We can do our picks on commercial break.
Because Collision will be live next Thursday at 8 p.m., a special, because they're not going against Mania, which is a smart decision by AEW. It's just not a smart decision to go against this fucking juggernaut.
Yeah, we can watch it along and make our Mania picks in between or whatever. Yes, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I believe I will be at the Dynamite next week with some access, but I purposefully left the Thursday open because it's Mania week. This show takes precedence, so I'm not going to the Thursday show. Even if I got it, I'm not going. But I'm gonna be at Dynamite. But I would do a watch along because it still will be in Boston.
Sure. We'll figure it out.
Something huge will happen, and you will visibly see me on air regret my whole life.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll come up with a plan, ski this weekend, get it locked in. But yeah. I don't know what you do. We'll figure it out. I think next week will be very telling on what they do. I think Saturday night will be telling on what they do with Megan Bane. I like that there's options. I thought Stat and Thunder Rosa killed it on Wednesday.
Oh, great match. I thought
super good match. So there's intrigue there, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the problem is with right now with the AEW, and I like that they're moving towards more pay-per-views. I like that they're moving in these directions and they're doing more things and they're starting to establish more people, but we gotta figure out how to tie some of this stuff together or tell a little bit more of a story so that I go, okay, that's where we're thinking at least. But hey, I guess the element of surprise, right?
That's what they say.
What else from Dynasty stood out to you? Jericho and Bandito with the restart. We're not talking about it. Stupid decision. Cost me a chance at that KOP championship.
Well, they almost did. They almost did what you picked them to do, and I almost shit my pants when it happened. I was like, "Why would you do that? Why would you do that?"
That's close.
But then the right thing prevailed, and Bandito won, knocked Jericho's tooth out for real, which I think he got a talking to in the back. I heard about that, but he knocked his tooth out.
I'm surprised Jericho didn't already get it taken care of.
He had it out last night. He showed that side smile, and he was missing it. What do you think of the segment last night with them? Because I actually liked that segment with the Learning Tree last night.
Best Learning Tree segment.
I was like, I kind of like that. I was into that.
I liked that Jericho came out by himself, and then Big Bill like jumped the gun. I kind of like it. He jumped it. It's like, I'm not letting you fucking walk.
Like, no.
And then Jericho's like, I'm not actually mad at you. But if I was, this is what I would say, which is like, you are mad. Then he destroyed the set.
But he was saying he was doing the dad line. He was
I'm
doing
disappointed.
The dad line. I'm not angry. I'm just, and he repeatedly just beating the shit out of the Geritron 5000 or whatever the fuck it is. And he's just beating the shit out of it. This segment, I thought everybody was good. And I think because later on, like right after the commercial, they showed Jericho backstage hit another thing and then they showed him drive off. I think Jericho's actually, because I think Fozzy has somebody in our Firmly chat said Fozzy has a new album coming out, or they're going on tour potentially.
Yeah, maybe. And then even that, like,
I think that's good.
If you put the title on Jericho to get a TV deal and you haven't gotten one yet,
yeah,
good.
Stop wasting time. Just get Tony. Move on.
We moved on to Bandito. Let's make it make more sense. Let's reestablish Ring of Honor. You've got May's coming up quicker. May 2nd's coming up. What is that? What are they calling it?
May 2nd is your boy's birthday.
Yeah, but they also have a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, right?
That's the fourth most important thing of that day.
It's true. That's
all
true.
Right, the first is that it's my birthday. The second is that it's the final boss's birthday.
That's right.
Dwayne.
Is he going to retweet you this year?
Absolutely not. For like the 14th year in a row, I will send him a happy shared birthday tweet, and that motherfucker won't even see it.
Bet you if you popped your shirt off, he might see that.
I'll take my shirt off for that tweet.
Oh, interesting. Everybody spammed Dwayne The Rock Johnson to get that. That'd be
son of a B. I've been waiting for some God. You know what? Like Roman says, Dwayne, acknowledge me.
But yes, it's not. He's going on a tour according to Paul, and they're coming to Fort Wayne. They're going to play at that. I know where he's. What's that place called? I
gotta go. No, don't go.
I'm not going.
Judas though.
Judas, but yeah,
So I think this is good because if Jericho is away for a while, I think you can actually like give Big Bill and Brian Keith some shine and let them kind of do their stuff by themselves without Jericho. And then Jericho comes back and you either, blows up or whatever the story is.
They get super successful without him. And then,
maybe. And then he comes back and he says, oh, I knew you had it in you. Like, this is all my teachings. And Big Bill's like, go fuck yourself, man.
Hell yeah.
You weren't around.
That's what I'm here for. I think that'd be a fun story to tell.
Yeah. So, all right, April 17th, which is actually what? That's next week. That's next Thursday. That's a week from today.
Thursday, yeah. First.
So April 17th through May 12th. So yeah, so they're going on about a month tour. So I think that'll be good. It'll be good for Jericho to not be on TV for a little bit. It'll be good for Brian Keith and Big Bill to kind of have some matches as a unit on their own. You can still do the Learning Tree song and be that, but Jericho's not there. I think breathing room is not a bad thing.
No,
when it comes to this.
Not at all.
I'll tell you what, and I know you said you're not a big guy of his. One of my favorite matches on Dynasty was Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe. I fucking loved that match. Oh, it was so good.
I just don't ever claim to be like the biggest Mark Briscoe guy. He's not that he's not talented. But no, they're really good together. They have good chemistry. Kyle Fletcher rules, obviously, and
we forgot to mention. I just saw his name in the chat again. Before I know we stopped talking about FTR, but last night when they showed the video of the turn, Tony Schiavone went off on FTR. Like to the point where like the camera was on him and he went off on FTR. Now FTR is wrestling on Collision this week where Tony Schiavone is the main commentator for.
Oh yeah. He might get beat up.
I'm just saying.
If FTR touches a hair on that man's head, that sweet baby angel Tony Schiavone.
Listen. I'm just saying. I think Tony Schiavone could have a concerto coming his way. That's all I'm saying. That's a move where he doesn't have to take a spot. They can protect him. Gets the job done. He doesn't really get,
If they touch a hair on sweet baby angel Tony Schiavone.
I'm telling you.
Pluggo's going to come unglued.
I got a feeling.
You don't touch sweet baby Tony.
I think that they the way that, and don't get me wrong, Tony shit on people at the desk all the time, right? He's funny. But like that was very on purpose. The way he did that, the way they and do you want to cement this heel turn some more? Have them friggin' take out Tony Schiavone. You
want to be on Pluggo's shit list? You take out Tony Schiavone. You don't do that.
That's the point. And there's a lot of people that probably feel that same exact way that you do. And I think that is exactly why they should kill
Tony Schiavone is a saint.
I love him. It's the same reason why I think they had a missed opportunity. John Cena should have beat the shit out of R-Truth at some point.
They still could.
They should he should.
Still good.
John Cena should have absolutely beat the piss out of R-Truth at some point in Europe, right in front of everybody, for everyone to be like, God damn it, John. The hell. I would have been more disappointed at that than him turning on Cody.
Well, to be fair, R-Truth is still kind of like, well, I don't see what's wrong with John Cena. He didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly. So, like, R-Truth coming out and trying to, like, it's been Cody that's been the guy trying to talk. Imagine R-Truth come out and be like, John, come on, talk to me, man. This can't be real. And then he just beats the death. Oh, beats him to death.
Can I get your autograph?
Oh, baby.
John,
and the crowd is just like, don't you dare do that to R-Truth. And we're all sitting there watching on TV going, come on, man, don't do that. Not to R-Truth. Dude's a saint. You want to talk about saints? R-Truth, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't.
Oh, that's a missed opportunity. If they don't do that, that is a. And again, we got the full year. If I assume he's not gonna not be a heel after WrestleMania, but that to me, such a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
such a missed opportunity. I digress. Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia. Adam Cole is the new TNT champion. That is a thing of note. I thought the match was boring as piss.
And he got to be on Dynamite, like he called it, but it was a backstage segment.
Yeah. Oh, so they're referred to as the Paragon now. How do you feel about that dumbass name?
The Paragon.
That's the best you could come up with. You're a video guy. You're a video game guy, Adam Cole. Come on. The Paragon?
The Paragon.
Come on, bro.
The Paragon shift.
Come on, bro.
What?
Come on. But it seems like Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly are going to be going. They reference them going for gold soon. So maybe, you know. And Adam Cole, I did like the promo, even though it was quick and backstage. You know, the last couple of years, not only with the injuries, but like personally, like 2 of the toughest years of my life. I'm back. Was that really? We got the Boss Man, I believe, in the back saying apparently that was supposed to be the Undisputed Era's original name. I did not know that.
Boss Man, we hit our like goal. Do we get more budget now?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, I will say this. I'm glad they went with Undisputed Era because the Paragon kind of sucks.
We'll see how it plays. But
not the guys in it. They're great. They'll make it work because they're all – I'm sure they'll make it work because they're all great.
All I ask –
I was like –
I don't care what you call them, what you got to do. Just make the TNT Championship matter again. That's all I want.
Yeah, but I think Adam Cole is a guy that they
I'm hoping
give TV time. Like, I think that's a guy that, unfortunately – we talked at length about how we felt about the Daniel Garcia title reign, and we picked that Adam Cole was going to win this match. Most of us, I think that they view Adam Cole at a different level, and I think that they view him as a guy that's going to be on TV often, quite often. So hopefully we can make that get a little.
If you're going to reshuffle Ring of Honor, which it looks like with Bandito being the champ, Athena might be losing that thing at some point with the Mercedes stuff she's got going on. Put Daniel Garcia in there. Daniel Garcia, Bandito for the ROH. Make ROH important too.
Yeah.
If you're not going to use, like, you got opportunities here. We just talked about there's options all over the place. You got to put the puzzle pieces in place to make it make sense.
Yeah.
That's all.
And a couple more things I wanted to touch on from Dynasty. One was on the pre-show. Anthony Bowens, tremendous.
Yeah, that was
tremendous.
Dope. I didn't love that it was like this kind of pre-show thing. I would have loved
it should have been on the main card or
like let him sell it out. Like, yeah, give him like make it a bigger deal. But I loved it. I thought it was
very
cool.
Good. I love
that. Was my only caveat. Let's give it a little more.
Yeah, I felt like it should have. Yeah, and I get it. They do big. They kind of have always done kind of bigger things on the pre-show. Like, you know, they have done bigger things on the pre-show before, but I felt like that couldn't have opened the pay-per-view real quick. You know, like a nice little. The match was 40 seconds long. You know.
Yeah.
Like that couldn't have just been a little.
You know why? Because fuck Matt Cass.
But he's getting over, man. With
he is.
They're chanting best. He's getting over.
He's such a piece of shit. I mean it in an endearing way.
Yeah, he's getting over with it. This shit's working. It is what it is. It's working for him. He's getting over. They're chanting that shit.
For sure.
So that was great. And I love he's a big baseball guy, Anthony Bowens. I think he actually like played minor league ball. Like so I love like the 5-tool player name. I love how they call him the pride of pro wrestling because obviously he's an openly gay individual. So the pride of pro wrestling, I love that name. I loved everything about it.
Lou's back.
I know he's back because it's almost now he knows it's like, oh, this is usually the time where this usually ends. Right now, I can come get my pets. without him screaming in my ear because he's going nuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes. And then other than that, the last thing I wanted to mention was that three-way was Speedball balled out, man.
Oh,
I know he's a friend of the website and we love him, but like regardless, he was the superstar of that match. That match was great. Even for me, smidge too long. I felt like it was a smidge too long.
Yeah.
But all three of those guys ruled. That match ruled, but Speedball specifically was incredible.
Yeah, he's dope. They all three showed out. I thought it was a good match. Yeah.
That match, I felt like that match was, and we talked about it last week. We said Omega's winning. There's no way Omega is not winning, but the purpose of that match is to make Speedball a dude in AEW. And 1000%, he was the standout guy in that match. He was incredible.
Then you got to go lying to us. You ain't buying no shoes, bro.
No, he ain't buying shoes with $100K. No way. Maybe a pair, but you ain't. We ain't never seen you wear.
Yeah, that's right.
We ain't never seen you wear. Yeah. I think that was basically it. We didn't really talk. I mean, Mercedes and Julia Hart was fine. I thought it was kind of with the run Mercedes has been on. I felt like this wasn't as strong as her previous run, like her previous matches we've seen, but it wasn't bad. But it was fine. It was probably my least favorite match of the evening.
Yeah, it's predictable, and we knew what was going to happen. And
they
took them. It was clunky. It was clunky at times, but I think they rallied it.
Oh yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It wasn't bad by any means. It was fine. Mm-hmm. And then other than that, the only other match we literally didn't talk about at all was the first pre-show match, which was Nick Wayne and crew defeating AR Fox and Top Flight.
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
And AR Fox was the hometown boy there. So
fair enough. I didn't even know that match happened.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't talk about it.
It was pretty good though. It was a good typical 6-man that you would expect with those 6 guys. It was fun.
Yeah, sounds like it would have been a good time.
Yeah, it was good stuff. But I thought again, I'm not going to sit here and say that I thought Dynasty was a bad pay-per-view because I don't think it was. I just think for as strong as AEW pay-per-views usually are, I think it was like kind of a, I wouldn't say a giant step, but I think it was a little bit of a step back than we normally get. And I thought Dynamite for a follow-up of how that event ended, and for the Dynamite after a pay-per-view, I thought that was a dud last night.
Yeah, there needed to be a little bit more, keep the ball moving.
Yeah, and maybe, and I even said this at the end of Firmly today because we talked through it, and like I did like some good stuff that happened on Dynamite, and I was like, maybe it wasn't as bad a show as I thought as a whole, but just that first opening segment with the Bucks and Kenny just left such a sour taste in my mouth that I just never got rid of it. So maybe I ended up not liking the show as much as I thought I did like it because I was still sour over how much of a whip I thought the Young Bucks explanation was.
It's because you're a cat guy and Kenny went dog reference.
Yeah, what the hell, Kenny?
He's talking about Shih Tzus when he should be talking about...
First of all, that's not how you say that.
Shih Tzus.
Thank you.
Shih Tzus.
Yeah, you were saying it backwards.
Shoes.
You were doing twos.
Twos.
Yeah, but you were saying like shit.
There was some other dog breed at work today that somebody mentioned, and I was like, "That's not how you say it."
Was it a Pomeranian?
No, it was like corgis or.
Corgis, yeah, those are like no, they don't look like foxes, but they're like.
There was another. I think it was something else, and he was like, "You're the one saying it wrong," and I was like, "I think you're saying it wrong because I've never heard it said that way," and it turns out I was wrong. So I just don't know.
Wait, you don't know how to say? You didn't know how to say corgi?
I don't think it was corgi. It was Dachshund.
Oh, a dachshund. A dachshund.
I thought it was Dotson. He's like, no, it's Dachshund.
A dachshund is like a wiener.
And I was like,
kind of almost.
And I was like, that's not how you say it. It's Dotson.
Have you ever seen mini? Have you ever seen mini dachshunds?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just apparently don't know how to say dog breeds really well. I guess
I'm a mini dachshund. Well, that will stop a room.
I'm what the kids call a moron.
You could be out in a full anywhere. And if a mini dachshund walk in the room, everyone would just be like, "Oh my God, look at this precious angel!" And that's how it would go.
If I was ever going to get a dog, I'd just get a little fat little bulldog like me, one of those little pugs, little fat guys. And
I don't mind a Frenchie, though. I don't mind a French bulldog, like the little miniature kind of.
Sure.
I would want the big fat English bulldog because I feel like that would just, you'd see us walking down the street and you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
I got kids. What I don't need to be taking care of no dogs.
That's true. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's why I got a cat, because for the most part, you don't got to take care of.
We've done that. We've
done make sure he's healthy, he's fed, and that his poop is fine.
We did the dog thing in the past. We had a little Chihuahua looking dog, named him Piper after Roddy Piper.
Now, when you say a Chihuahua looking dog, does that mean you had a Chihuahua?
No, he was a little. I don't know what he was.
What does that mean?
He's tiny. He's a little tiny.
How do you not
thing.
know?
I don't know shit.
Dog you had?
I don't know. I don't remember if that's.
We had a Chihuahua-looking dog.
I think he was a mix of two things. I don't know, but he was a little guy. But it just didn't work out. So we gave him to a family friend who had plenty of space, and he's still in Oliver's life, just not in ours anymore. Cool. Yeah, he's living his best life right now. With us, he was living a good life, but we are so busy that like it just wasn't fair to him. So we were like,
it's okay. You can say you hated him.
No, we didn't. He was a lot, but he's living like we get. Oliver gives us updates. Our youngest, when he goes over to his stepmom's, and he's like, dude, the dog is just like pampered doll hell. And I'm like, well, good for him. He moved up. He broke up with us and moved on. It was a little thing. I don't know what it was, but it was a little thing.
Fair enough. All right, Pluggo, it's that time. We got to get the heck out of here. This was a good one tonight. This is fun.
We're talking about nonsense now.
Yep.
We didn't quite reach the goal of 150. We'll try again next week to see if we can get that shirt.
But we reached the first goal of 20.
Drew is absolutely going to spend the next week making
150 burners, like you said. We did reach the original goal of 20, so thank you to everybody that liked the video. We appreciate you. Next week with the Mania Go Home show and potentially a live Collision watch along as well, we better hit fucking 50.
Yeah, we got a lot going on next week.
Next week's Mania week. It's the whole kit and caboodle. Next week. We got a lot going on, Pluggo and I. We're going to be on a thing that's going to get announced by someone sometime soon. That'll be in the interwebs next week. I got to hop on with the Kicking Out podcast, guys, again, because I got to whip Paul's ass.
I might just show up to talk some shit and leave.
I just said WrestleMania. What the hell's wrong with me?
Yeah, I don't know.
With a WrestleMania picks preview.
With Dogs Read us a WrestleMania.
I got, I'm going to Dynamite on Wednesday in Boston. They're doing a special Dynamite. I'll be in the building. Next Thursday, like we said, we got a live Collision counter program.
And I think we're doing some post shows here as well.
We're doing post shows for each night of WrestleMania next week. We haven't announced it yet, but there might be a pre-show of Mania right before night one.
Yeah.
So a lot going on, man. Then the following week is the NFL draft. Oh,
my birthday.
Your birthday's on the draft?
No, it's the weekend of the draft. So.
Oh, yeah.
Getting old.
It's a lot of stuff going on, guys. I got a new job in real life. I want to go float in a river. Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
On that note, I'm Pluggo. Like he said, we got a lot of stuff coming up. If you want to know what we've got going on and where we're going to be and who we're going to be with, the only way to do that is follow us on all social media platforms at B2Beards on all social media platforms, as well as follow at Love Wrestling CA. They post our stuff too, so you'll see us there. Eric's in the house a little late, but we love you. What's up, brother? Hell yeah, JPJ and Pluggo, you're a young pup. I don't feel young, but that's okay. Saturday morning at 10 a.m. with Blair Pacheco at 4 Exposure Pod, we will be talking about the second part of our two-part collective weekend preview. There's a lot to talk about, but we figured out how to cram it into an hour. So come hang out with us Saturday morning. And then all my stuff is, I'm at Pluggo. I didn't even promote myself. We have so much stuff going on. I'm at Pluggo. You'll find me. Just do the thing. And then I write a little bit on Love Wrestling CA. I'm gonna write something this weekend. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling good. I missed last weekend because I was feeling bad, but I'm good. I'm feeling vibing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Obviously, Pluggo just said all the Beards things we got coming up over the next week, 2 weeks, wild stuff. But at B2Beards, like you said, every Thursday night here at 8 p.m. You can catch me with Drew Nicholas. Next week, we will be at our normal times, Tuesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. for both firmly WWE on Tuesday and Firmly AEW on Thursday. We haven't formally announced it yet, but next Saturday, right before night one, probably somewhere around 3:30, 4 p.m. in the afternoon, I would guess, we are going to be doing a preview show for WrestleMania. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah. Other than that, you can find me on Monday nights after Monday Night Raw on bodyslam.net, doing the Raw Dogs post show with Corey and Nick over there. You can follow me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms, including Twitch, where I play a lot of MLB The Show. We have a good time over there as well. After next week for Firmly, though, there will be some schedule changes. We're still working it out. Like I said, I just got a new gig in the shoot life. So I got to kind of figure out what my schedule is going to be looking like for the foreseeable future. So Firmly's not going anywhere. There might just be some small changes to it because obviously Tuesdays and Thursdays during the day are probably not going to be available to me like they have been every week, like they have been for a while. So again, follow us on social medias at Firmly LW. And once we have a final set thing, we will get that to you as quickly as possible. But just follow me. Follow us, follow Love Wrestling. We're always doing a ton of shit here at Love Wrestling, but this next couple of weeks with Mania, and then we got an LPW show the week after, and we got, there's just a bunch of stuff going on through the end of the month. Now's the time, people. Now's the time, people. Give us a follow. We got a bunch of cool shit planned. Spencer, our boss, is going to be in Las Vegas covering WrestleMania for us on this site, hopefully doing some cool-ass stuff that will be on our socials and things like that. So now's the time, people. Love Wrestling CA everywhere. Follow Pluggo. Follow me. Follow Beards. Follow For Exposure. Follow Firmly.
Yes.
Follow it all.
Smash the like buttons. Follows everything.
Do it. All right. On that note, we're going to get out of here. We will see you next week for our WrestleMania preview and Collision watch along. Till then, you know the drill. Say hi to Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Peace out.
Hey there, Pluggo and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. Get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you two beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves or I'm gonna cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer gonna get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans. Watch yourselves.